how's this week been following the long trip to Hartlepool? Obviously, I know the lads had the day off on Monday and managed to get a good bit of rest before this game.
Yeah, I think it was important we recovered properly on the back of the rigours of the weekend. Obviously, the game and the long journey on top of that. So, like you pointed to, the lads had Sunday, Monday off, nice little break. Came back in, trained really well on Tuesday, and I've trained well again today. Unfortunately, we've lost one player, one definite player with COVID in Kyle Taylor, and we've got another player with some sort of symptoms who's getting tested as we speak. So we might be -2, and we've been conscious to test a group this week on the back of a COVID case coming whilst they were all on a coach together and in the hotel together on Friday and Saturday for such a long period. So a slightly different challenge and one we've not had for a few weeks at least, but it just shows it's still apparent in our society.
On to Walsall then, and a unique situation in the dugout where you and the Walsall manager share the same name, thanks to the BBC for the first time since the 1970s. Walsall had a tough start, but I think Matt Taylor's he's trying to implement his own style there, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. It'll take a little bit of time. I said in a previous interview, I don't think he's had his full selection to choose from as yet. I think there's players coming back from suspension and injury this weekend, so we expect them to be stronger. They got some exciting players and some talented players. You know, the front three are all on loan have started the season really well and players of a certain level and pedigree. So lots to be aware of in relation to the opposition. But we're looking forward to playing at home, especially on the back of last weekend and the training week we've had. And we're looking forward to getting back to ourselves. We had a good result in the last home game we played in difficult circumstances against Sutton, and we'll be looking to put in a positive performance, irrelevant of who we're up against and irrelevant of who's in the opposite dugout and his name as well.
Obviously, last season both matches against Walsall ended goalless. Is this about finding a different way to break them down? And I imagine they're probably looking at how to break us down as well.
Yeah, look at different groups of players. You know, different manager. Obviously, Darryl Clark was there last season, so we hope it's not going to be a goalless draw this weekend. We hope to create chances. We hope to hurt the opposition. We hope to implement our style on the game. You can never predict exactly what's going to happen, but I'm sure both teams are going out to score goals and to hurt each other. But draws have been part of our season so far. I think we've got 5 draws, and you just alluded to it there. If it's going down that avenue, similar to the Sutton game to some respects, we've got to be in a position to change it and change the flow of the game and the feel of the game and hopefully the outcome of the game and start targeting more wins. And that might mean taking more risks. It might mean putting more attacking players on the pitch and opening the game up. But, you know, it's certainly something we're targeting in the next month.
Perhaps aside from last season, matches against Walsall are usually quite entertaining. A 3-3 draw here a few years ago, that was some game.
We spoke about that this morning because obviously when we do preparation for the opposition, we have a weather report as well. And I think torrential rain is due this weekend along with the winds. And anyone who's at that game, I think we were 3-0 down after half an hour. I remember Aaron Martin slipping over. I remember it being a difficult playing surface, and we just got hit, 3 times on the bounce in quick succession. But I think we got it back to 3-2 just before half time, and then equalised midway through the second half, and actually looked like we were going to go in and win that game. It was a thrilling encounter, an exciting game, and a lot of goals, totally different to last season. So we hope for something more of the same, certainly in terms of goals for us. But we are conscious that they've got some good attacking players, and we hope as well that the weather doesn't play its part.
You mentioned, obviously, the COVID cases. Hopefully no more absences there. In terms of squad fitness, Josh Coley, if not this weekend, perhaps looking at bringing him in for Tuesday's game at Cheltenham?
Yeah, look, he'll definitely be involved on Tuesday. And on the back of the COVID cases he's got a good chance of being involved this weekend. So, you get to a point in the season when you get stronger and stronger, and then all of a sudden things happen. And this will continue to happen, Craig. I'm sure we'll pick up more cases as the season goes on. We were just mindful that we didn't want it to spread on the back of the journey we had and close proximity. So, touchwood, hopefully we're not too far away from being out of the woods in terms of the week after that Hartlepool trip. But obviously we've got one player unavailable and potentially another player off the back of that, which means more opportunity for the rest of the group. And Josh Coley is certainly a player who seems to be ready. Like we spoke about, if it's not this weekend, it'll certainly be Tuesday.
And of course, it was great to see Archie Collins back on Saturday as well after a layoff.
Yeah, I think he probably had a little reminder of what League Two was all about in the middle of the park, and the speed of the game he was coming into. But we've got a force him in there and push him in there. And I wanted to get him on that pitch for a decent amount of time last weekend, and I'm sure we'll be looking to do the same this weekend. Obviously, with Kyle's illness, it means there's a midfield spot available, so we've got good options to choose from, and Archie's certainly one of them. But to have a player of his ilk back available is huge for the club.
And obviously Jack Sparks, we know he's going to be still out for a long while, but where are we up to with him? How's he recovering?
He was outside today, so he had his 6-week review, but he's had a review of some sort, and he's outside, not with a group, and it was jogging very gently, and it looked a little bit awkward for him, I've got to be honest with you, but just great to see him outside. We've seen him walking around the training ground, and I've been walking at a slow pace, and that's brutal for any footballer when a session's going on. So just to see him in a pair of football boots and a pair of trainers and just moving faster than a walk is a moment for Jack, because that's the first moment you can tick off, and then you start doing a bit more in the gym, you start working your body a little bit more, and then you start loosening up as well. So that's been a long time coming on. I know he's been uncomfortable. That's the worst thing about that injury. I think he's been uncomfortable in terms of just general sleep patterns and sitting around. But hopefully he's showing he's on the mend, and like I say, once we see him outside, then you get to see him outside every single day, and then he's never too far away. It's still going to be a long period of time because it was such a significant injury, but a big day today for Jacko.